Have you ever wondered why we love junk food so much? Like, the stuff that's bad for us, but oh, so good. Well, it turns out that there are some hidden psychological triggers that are making us crave these foods. And once you know what they are, you can start to take control of your eating habits and make healthier choices. So let's dig in and find out what they are. Number 1, sugar. Let's start with the obvious, sugar. It's no secret that this white crystal is one of the main ingredients in most junk foods, and it's also one of the main reasons why we love them so much. But why do we love sugar so much? Well, it turns out that our brains have a special reward system for it. When we eat sugary foods, our brains release a surge of dopamine, which is the feel-good hormone. This makes us feel happy and satisfied, and it also makes us want to eat more of that food. In fact, studies have shown that the more sugar we eat, the more our brains get used to it, and the more we crave it. That's why it can be so hard to give up sugary foods, even when we know that they're not good for us. But don't worry, there are ways to break the cycle and reduce our cravings for sugar. One way is to eat complex carbohydrates instead. These carbs are found in foods like whole grains and vegetables, and they'll give us the energy we need without the sugar crash. Another way is to drink plenty of water. Water helps flush the sugar out of our systems and can help us feel full, which can reduce our overall calorie intake. Finally, we can try to get our brains to produce dopamine through other means, such as exercise or meditation. That way, we won't be so focused on getting our dopamine fix from food. Number 2, fat. Another reason why we love junk food is because it's often high in fat. And there's nothing wrong with eating fat. In fact, it's an essential part of a healthy diet. Our bodies need fat to absorb certain vitamins and minerals, and it also helps us feel full and satisfied after a meal. However, the type of fat that we eat can make a big difference. Unsaturated fats, which are found in foods like avocados and nuts, are good for our hearts and brains. On the other hand, saturated and trans fats, which are found in processed foods like chips and fried chicken, are not so good for us. These types of fats can raise our cholesterol levels and increase our risk of heart disease and stroke. So if we're going to indulge in some junk food, it's best to do it in moderation and choose the types of fats wisely. Number 3, salt. The third reason why we love junk food is because it's often high in salt. Salt, or sodium chloride, is another one of those things that our bodies need to function properly. It helps regulate our fluid balance and is involved in many important chemical processes. However, like fat, the amount of salt that we consume can make a big difference. Too much salt can raise our blood pressure and increase our risk of heart disease and stroke. It's why it's important to read food labels and be aware of how much sodium we're consuming. If we're eating a lot of processed foods, we're likely taking in a lot of salt as well. So it's important to choose fresh, unprocessed foods whenever possible. When cooking at home, we can also use herbs and spices to add flavor to our food instead of relying on salt. Number 4, emotional eating. Sometimes we turn to junk food when we are feeling stressed, bored, or sad. This is called emotional eating, and it's a common coping mechanism. When we're stressed, our bodies release hormones like cortisol that can make us crave comfort foods. These are usually high in fat and sugar, and they make us feel better temporarily. But of course, this is not a healthy way to deal with stress. It's important to find other activities that we enjoy and that help us relax, such as yoga, meditation, or spending time in nature. Number 5, sensory appeal. Another reason why we love junk food is because it's often highly processed and engineered to be as appealing as possible. From the bright colors, to the crunchy textures, to the sweet and savory flavors. Junk food is designed to stimulate our senses and make us want to eat it. Studies have shown that the more appealing a food is to our senses, the more likely we are to overeat. That's why it's important to be aware of the sensory cues that are triggering our cravings and to try to avoid them when possible. So, there you have it. 5 reasons why we love junk food. From the psychological triggers of sugar, fat, and salt, to the more complex reasons like emotional eating and sensory appeal. It's clear that there's a lot more to our love of junk food than just taste. By understanding these triggers, we can start to take control of our eating habits and make healthier choices for ourselves. Do you have any other theories on why we love junk food so much? Share your thoughts below. And remember, knowledge is power. The more we understand about the world around us, the more we can take control of our lives and make positive changes. So keep learning and keep growing. Thanks for watching.